Welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, episode 59. Alright, so we have just one more IB event we need to get through, and that is ultimately the Tuscan challenge. And well, as far as I know, from what I can make out in my garage, I don't have this thing. I do have the TVR Griffith, but I'm pretty certain I don't have the Tuscan. And no, I do not. Okay. So, let's head over to the car dealer and head down to the UK, because, well, the Tuscan challenge is basically TVR, and this is the car I'm using, which is effectively the only car I can use. The TVR Tuscan Speed 6. And we also get the Speed 12 in here as well, but anyways, I am using the Tuscan, and we've got some interesting colours here. Well, obviously, I don't think I'm going to use black, because, well, I think I've probably done that enough times already. I don't mind that pearlescent. That's actually not bad. Well, I think purple is probably the obvious choice, so I'm not going to go for that. Oh, I do like that chameleon blue, though. Although, I drove the Clio in blue, so I think that kind of ruins the point. But yeah, we do have quite a few pearlescent colours here. Actually, yeah, I will go with this one, just because I want to. Because I think it looks a bit like probably pale cyan, methinks. And also, obviously, as you would anticipate, I'm going to do some tuning, so I'm going to put on the sport suspension so I can steer the thing, because I would imagine the Tuscan is probably going to be quite heavy, and I'm also going to get myself a Stage 1 tuning engine, because I'm pretty certain I'll need this. I'll also get myself the Stage 2 just in case. Even though I don't think I will need it, I'm also going to put on the racing chip, and as you would expect, I'm putting on the Super Slicks, because I would imagine this is another one of those heavyweight British cars that uses a lot in terms of weight, and obviously that's what I am doing. And well, I know I probably don't need this, but obviously I'm gonna purchase it just in case, because, well, it could be of some usage. And anyways, let's now head down to our final IB event in this game, which is the Tuscan Challenge. So, a 5-race championship, as it has been with the previous 3, and there's one thing I don't like about this championship. Also, it says it there: the rebirth of a prestigious nameplate, a legendary model. So, 5-race event, as of which we're going to Tri Mountain Reverse, Route 5, Rome Reverse, Seattle, and we are ending at the shitty oval. Yeah, that's literally the one thing I absolutely despise about this championship. The fact I'm saying that we have to end at test course. Of all the tracks to fucking pick, why this one? Anyways, that's the only car we can use. 50 grand if we can win a race, and obviously, payouts from first to second, it is quite a big margin, considering I only get 10 grand if I finish in second. But I would probably say I'm confident enough to say that I probably will win the championship, as of which I do have the tuning up here. And I've also got the Super Slicks, so obviously tyre mileage does not prove to be a problem. And yeah, let's get to it. The start of the Tuscan Challenge, where we are racing at Tri Mountain Reverse. Can I win 3 out of 5 races? I hope so. And also, to those of you who hate the colour I chose, the truth is, I wanted to stand out, and obviously, because I knew very well I was wanting something different, I just decided I would go with something that would help me stand out. And by God, this colour scheme has definitely done that, and already I'm crashing a lot. And I think it's also fair to say that my car might be just a little bit overpowered, but again, we will just have to wait and see how the race unfolds. Okay, I think I might have overdone it just a little bit with the engine tuning, methinks. I think it's fair to say I might be just a little bit overpowered. And that's all. Anyways, so at the moment, all I can really say is that, well, this race so far has actually been pretty easy, because I just basically took the lead as soon as we got into the corners, essentially. But again, we are doing 10 laps around each of these circuits, and obviously I still hate it on how we have to end this championship in test course, because of literally all the fucking venues to choose in the world. Why they chose that one to end off this championship, I will have probably no fucking idea. Because of how many times I literally have to race a test course. I think the main reason why they put test course in basically more than one fucking event is probably because they thought it was somehow a good idea to essentially put the track itself in more events than just one, and then suddenly they said it was possible to say that a track as long and as boring as that one actually becomes a regular circuit to race on in this game. And obviously, I know for sure it is a circuit where I've had little success. And I think it's fair to say that for the first race, my car might be just a little bit overpowered. It is possible to say that because I am clearly extending my lead over the pack, and I think I might have made this first race just a wee bit too easy, because the gap is now 4 seconds and we are only 2 laps into this race. So I think it's fair to say for race 2 that I might need to take off the engine, because I don't think I have any usage for it. I don't think. Because I can guarantee I will definitely not win a test course. Ugh, fuck. Why is it whenever I want to speak my throat suddenly just wants to choke me? My throat is one sleazy little bastard. Yeah, anyways. Meanwhile, I am up front and I am just continuing to dominate. Which, oddly enough, is one thing I should not be doing, but ironically, because of my supposedly OP engine, that's probably the only reason why I'm just pulling away from the rest of the pack. Which is actually pretty closely tight. Which is actually pretty close up to this point. Just a shame to say that my overpowered superiority is essentially killing that. Oh, fuck me. Okay. I do not want to do that too many times. Because I could easily spin if I keep power sliding the way I am doing at the moment. Anyways. Heading through the first tunnel now, once again, on the reverse circuit, and ultimately, all I can really say about this as well, I have probably made this a farcical race because of how much I'm dominating this fucking thing. Even though I'm pretty certain I won't win a task course. But so far, this is definitely proving to be very easy for me to start off with. Oh, fuck, I cut the chicane. Although I did also do stage 1 of weight reduction, and obviously that could be the main factor that's keeping me ahead of these AI. But obviously, I put on the super slick tyres because, well, this is the professional league, and I know very well that obviously this ain't no fucking around bullshit. This is a lot more serious than the beginner and amateur leagues, because you've got to have tuning on these things if you want to win for most of these events. And from what I can tell at the moment, I am probably going to keep extending my lead to probably beyond fucking Eden's Gate, methinks. Because I'm probably going to increase my lead to probably beyond infinity. Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah, 15 seconds. Sorry, 15.5 seconds. Yep, I would pretty much say that has confirmed I am basically going to dominate the rest of this race, methinks. Okay, 17 seconds. Isn't this going to be interesting? I think this is basically a farcical race up to this point, because I'm just clearly decimating the rest of the field in this first race. So I think I can definitely confirm the car is OP. Regardless of what happens, OP is definitely the initials I can use this first race. Yep, 20.5 seconds. Where my domination will inevitably continue. Where my domination will inevitably continue, methinks. Right, so we are now 6 laps into this race, and I think it's fair to say that since I have clearly pulled off at least on the rest of the field, I think it's pretty much fair to say that the only word I can really think of for this race is, well, domination. Up to this point, because since I took the lead, I have just not been challenged all race long. And whether it can be another one of those pissy-easy championships, like essentially the Elise and Clio trophies, that remains to be seen. But at the moment, this is proving to be a lot easier than I anticipated it would be. Because I'm now 25 seconds up the road from the rest of the pack, and oddly enough, I actually don't like it, by how much I'm just fucking decimating the field. I think it's fair to say, for this first race, my car is clearly overpowered, methinks. And yes, I have said that before, but I just figured, for continuity purposes, I would say that again. Because I'm an average communicator. And, oh boy, this happened again. Or in other words, the happen tunnel, which is basically what this is. And I am heading downhill once again. Although oddly enough, I haven't raced on trying not to reverse too many times in this game. Oh, shit. Yeah, I just cut the chicane there. Again, it doesn't really matter too much because, well, I pretty much know for sure I'm going to win this race. Pretty much fucking hands down to this point, because I'm pretty certain this will undoubtedly be an easy ride. Bollocks. I missed the braking point. Well, by a little bit, but I definitely missed it. Yeah, so, anyways, about the engine tuning I did, whoops. Is my only real response, because I think it's probably clear enough to say that by now, even if I didn't have the engine tuning on, I would probably still be dominating this race, methinks. I would think if I didn't, I would think up to this point, even if I didn't have the engine on, I would probably still dominate this race anyway, because that is literally how easy this first race has been. Yeah. Also, furthermore, this is now the final lap, and ultimately domination is the correct term I can use to solidify how much I've been... oh fuck. To solidify how much I've been stonking the field throughout this race. I'm willing to bet even if my car was stock, I would have probably still won this race anyway. On pure pace, because I'm willing to bet that's probably how much quicker my car would be in comparison to the AI. Anyways, through the final sequence of corners we go, and it is victory. By a lot more than just a long shot. Also, furthermore, it must be said, this thing from the front, it does look just a little bit repulsive, in my honest opinion. But it's definitely got the Brutus it needs. Anyways, let's wait for everybody else to finish. Alright, everyone has managed to finish, and I won by 42 seconds in that race. That is just how dominant I was with the engine tuning, and I think it's pretty much solidified my thoughts in saying I probably do not need this much tuning on my car for the next couple of races. I think that's pretty much cemented that. But yeah, in the end of that, it's basically just an easy 10 points to me. Basically all I can really say at the moment. But also, furthermore, we do get a reasonable payout as well, because the payout for this championship is 50 grand. And that is actually pretty good, anyways. I am saving the replay, because I know for sure I do not have many replays around Tri-Mount and Reverse. Meanwhile, race 2, and it takes place at Route 5, and where I am pretty confident in saying I do not need engine tuning on this thing to win. So, let's go! And hope, of course, that our domination runs will continue. So, my car is basically stock, except for the tyres and also for the weight reduction, but apart from that, everything else is pretty much diverted to stock, methinks. Oh, shit. As which, at the moment, I am already putting myself... as which, at the moment, I am already putting myself in the challenger's position. And a little bit of contact there, but managing to slot my way up into the 4th position. Hoping, of course, that I can manoeuvre myself up into the lead, and was not going to make it a double pass, and Silver is just really not playing an easy game. Meanwhile, both the yellow and red Tuscans are right on my ass, and I'm pretty certain I can probably slot myself in. Which that is exactly what I managed to do. I slot myself up there, and I am now certified for the 1st position. All I really need to do now is just hold on to this position, because I am pretty certain that once the race officially settles down, I will probably still win this anyway. Yeah, I just figured I'd challenge myself, because I literally have no engine tuning on this thing whatsoever, and oddly enough, I can actually save course. But even now, up to this point, I am still pulling away from the rest of the pack, as I would have expected myself to do. as well. This championship is easy. Although, I'm pretty certain I will probably be at least 160 grand richer by the time this championship is done. Possibly even 200 grand richer if the remaining races are going to be this easy. Anyways, as I expected, I am already beginning to pull away because I am now nearly 3 seconds clear of the second placed car, which is in yellow. Yeah, I am still continuing to pull away from the rest of the field, even then, of course, if I am not driving an AP car, because that is literally how easy this is. This thing is just literally piss easy. For the first 2 races, methinks. TV remote was under my cable. So, 5.6 seconds is now the gap, and fortunately for this segment, my TV is not doing the weird shit you would usually expect it to do. Considering obviously I have a pretty old Panasonic TV. So, pretty much 6 seconds is now the interval at the end of the 4th lap, and from what I can work out, I'm pretty certain this probably will be easy W by the time we get up to the halfway point, because I would say up to this point I am probably just going to be the dominator, as I am now completing lap number 4 here at lap 5, and as for the championship itself, I'm just the continuing dominator. So domination is continuing as I now head through the chicanes again. So 9.5 seconds is now the interval to this AI, and I have just noticed there was a fly right up in front of my fucking face. Anyways, we are now halfway there, and I would imagine this race will probably take me just over 15 minutes, methinks. As of which I am also feeling pins and needles in my right foot. Probably because my body at the moment is going numb. But that could just be me. Anyways, heading down of course to the hairpin once again, and the interval is now 11.4 seconds to the leading Tuscan of the AI, because well, perhaps it might be I am the leader. But I'm still pretty certain in saying I probably won't win Task Force. I mean, I might be able to win at Seattle, but winning at Task Force, that might be a different story, methinks. But officially, all I can really say at the moment is, well, I'm just continuing to gradually pull away. And I was only a quarter of a tenth off, equaling my best lap time, so at the moment I would say I'm pretty much setting mid-129s, as the gap has now extended to over 13 seconds. So the domination run is continuing at the present time, and I'm still pretty certain, to say the least, I will probably win this race again by a huge margin over these AI. So I could probably have this car completely stock, and yet somehow I would probably still win the race. Well, except for the tyres, of course, because, well, that might make it a bit more of a challenge, but obviously I'm not prepared to risk that. Anyways, through the final corner we go once again. I think that's meant to be a hairpin there, but ultimately the domination run is in continuation. So yeah, I'm basically setting mid-129s at the moment. And I'm going to assume I must be at least probably 3 seconds a lap quicker than the AI. And I think it's fair to say that for this race, compared to the close pack racing of Tri Mountain Reverse, the pack in this race has pretty much spread out evenly. Methinks. Officially, I can now say that I, of course, am pretty much 16.5 seconds quicker than the AI. So not necessarily dominating as much as I was at Tri Mountain Reverse, but I'm definitely on a tearaway streak at the moment. Because even without the engine tuning, I am still dominating this race. Which realistically is one thing I almost was sure I was not going to witness, but, well, it doesn't really bother me too much. Also, furthermore, I almost set a new best lap time. Anyways, we now have 2 laps to go here at Route 5, 2 more laps of domination, where by the time I've completed those 2 laps, I will probably be streaks ahead of the AI, because the margin is now 18.5 seconds, and I have a feeling by the time we get to the end of the race, it is probably going to be somewhere over 20 seconds, methinks. Possibly more than 21 seconds. Because I'm predicting 21 seconds at the least, and 23 seconds at the most. Because that is literally how dominant my car is at the moment. So the domination run at the present time is continuing, and the gap is now 21 seconds. So I'm probably anticipating, at the most, I'll probably be like somewhere under 25 seconds. Anyways, final lap, because I'm predicting at the most I'll probably be 24, maybe even 25 seconds clear of the rest of the field. So 22.1 seconds is now the interval to the yellow Tuscan, and as for the rest of the field, well, they're pretty much strung out at the moment. Yeah, 23.5 seconds. Yeah, I would imagine it is probably going to be over 24 seconds at the most by how much I've been dominating this thing. And just as I predicted, it is going to be just over 15 minutes that it's taken me to officially complete this race, and there we go. And I also set a new fastest lap by less than half a second in the process. And so, let's now wait for everybody else to finish. Okay, everyone has managed to finish, and even without the engine tuning, I still dominated. And apparent as it might be, I was underestimating my domination, because I won this race by 26 seconds over the yellow Tuscan. Then it was the titanium Tuscan in third, followed by red. Then it was silver, and then at the back I think it was the blue Tuscan. Meanwhile, at the moment, in my cyanish Tuscan, I am just continuing my domination. And I'm pretty certain amongst the AI, it is going to be interesting to see what the final results will pan out as. Anyways, I'm now 100,000 credits richer, since I bought and tuned the Tuscan. Anyways, race 3. And will I dominate this about as much as I have done the previous 2 races? Well, it's a possibility. Also, furthermore, I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I hear this thing downshift, it kind of sounds like a horse is breathing or something. I mean, I know that might sound weird, but the truth is, that's what I think it sounds like to me whenever I downshift. On the car itself, you know, it's just the sort of weirdness I tend to become, you know, accustomed to, methinks. Even though obviously these engines are pretty much V8, methinks. Just how you think these things are running V8s. But yeah, this thing has definitely got the grunt when it downshifts, methinks. And furthermore, Blue is actually making a comeback in this race because he is up to second at the moment, so I'm going to anticipate this is going to be something similar to what the red Clio pulled off in the previous championship, where it was notably at the rear end points, and then suddenly, because he was consistent in the third and fourth races of the season, he essentially... oh, okay. Doesn't matter, because the lead has already traded hands. Or at least second place has already traded hands. Well, guess I'll just go fuck myself. Alright, 3.9 seconds to yellow. When it was all yellow. Yeah, sorry, that's a Coldplay reference. Anyways. All I can really say at the moment is, well, just utter domination, basically. Alright, so 4.6 seconds is now the interval to this AI, and I am still pretty certain to say the least in certifying that I will probably extending my lead at pretty much a vast rate of knots, and where ultimately, if I do manage to... oh, fuck. Well, it doesn't matter too much because I'm going to stop all the way anyway, but I'm still pretty certain that even if I do manage to lose the race up to this point, I'm pretty certain the race I'll probably lose is the test course. Because I know for sure this AI will definitely have tuning equipped for a test course, as of which I'll probably have the same, but again, I'm still pretty certain in saying that for certain I probably won't win a test course. I mean, I think I'm pretty much confident enough to say I will definitely win 3 out of 5 races by the time we get over to Seattle, because I've already won the first 2 races, and with this race, like it was the previous 2, my domination run is just continuing at the present time, because I was clearly dominant in both of the first 2 races, and honestly, I do think this race is certainly solidifying that dominance, and I think I might be getting cursed with understeer at the moment, even though because this thing is rear-wheel drive it's meant to be oversteer, but I think with that one curve there, it might be understeer that's causing me to go straight into the wall, methinks. Probably is understeer. Even though my accuracy could be completely wrong. Yeah, it's definitely understeer at the moment, because I don't think it's anything coming from the rear tyres through these corners. It must be understeer. The that's forcing me into the guardrails. Also, furthermore, yes, we do get spectators. Meanwhile, I am now 10.3 seconds clear. Of the rest of the pack, and officially in this race at the moment, my domination run is continuing. So I think up to this point I probably am confident enough to say that whilst the racing so far has basically been piss easy up to this point, I'm still pretty certain, to say the least, in saying that there will certainly be domination coming at the end of this race. Fuck. Anyways. We are now halfway through race number 3. And ultimately, I am pretty certain hey, I actually made the corner this time. Anyways, I am pretty certain that domination up to this point is more or less guaranteed, methinks. And there is quite a squabble going on there for whatever positions these AI are fighting for, because already I am now nearing the end of lap number 6, and at the moment there must be some good racing going on behind me, but meanwhile I am still at the front and I am still continuing my domination, my unquestionable domination run, because by God, that is just how easy these fucking races have been. Although, it doesn't really matter that much because, well, I am currently 17.5 seconds clear of the rest of the pack. A gap that is pretty much certainly going to extend, because that's all I've really been doing in this race. I've just been pretty much pulling away pretty much lap after lap. I also just noticed I had an edge on my nostril, so just figured I'd scratch it. Anyways, interval is now up to 18.6 seconds. Okay, I think I was a little bit too sharp there. Doesn't matter too much, because because even if I do crash for pretty much the rest of this race, I'm still pretty certain, to say the least, that I probably will win this race with relative ease. I am starting to yawn. Because domination. Alright, so 21.8 seconds is now the gap to the second placed Tuscan, whoever the hell that is. And there must be some pretty tightly packed racing going on back there. If they are pretty much squabbling that much for every position they can find. And it looks like the Titanium Tuscan has managed to maneuver himself up into that position. Meanwhile, I now set a new best lap time by over a second. Just have to push it on this lap, even though it probably isn't necessary because, well, I've got well over a big enough margin to officially say that I'll probably win this race. Yeah, I'm pretty much a pit stop clear of this AI now, because the gap is now 25 seconds. No doubt in saying that interval is going to continue to extend. What I can tell, this has definitely proven to be a lot easier than I first thought it was going to be. I was expecting this championship to be easy, but I definitely was not expecting it to be this fucking easy. Anyways, final lap. Fuck. I should have shifted down into second. No idea why I didn't do that. Yeah, 30 seconds. I've definitely got this thing won. Considering I'm basically half a minute clear with his AI. Alright, so heading up to the Colosseum corners now for the final time here in Rome. And ultimately, I can probably say that I'm probably more or less likely to win, presumably. I could do. Anyways, let's now wait for everybody else to finish. That is just how dominant I have been for literally the first 3 races, considering I won this by pretty much 35 seconds. And I'm pretty certain this again is going to cause a shuffle in the point standings, because the positions just keep changing constantly. But obviously, there are definitely not going to be any perfect streaks in this championship, unless you would of course account for me probably winning all 5 races. But again, because we're racing a test course, I'm doubtless in saying that will definitely not be the case. Anyways, 4th race, and we're going to Seattle. Let's just basically do whatever the fuck it is we've been doing in the previous couple of races. Just pretty much taking the lead early and just not looking back, basically. Also, furthermore, I can't see the Space Needle from here. Fuck. I managed to avoid the squabbling of the first hairpin. And already I am now pretty much slicing my way through the field, because I am now only half a second behind, and that is quickly going to change because I am now up into first place. And also heading past the clock tower, even though I'm doubtless in saying that's probably irrelevant, but ultimately I now have an integral to these AI, and I can only imagine how much domination will continue by the time we get to the end of this race. So 1.4 seconds is the current interval. And obviously, I think even if this car was stock, I would probably still win this race anyway, methinks. Because already after just one lap, I'm just continually dominating this championship. And well, I know for sure this won't be a clean sweep, because obviously test courses in there, but again, for basically the first 3 races of this championship, I've basically just taken the lead, and then once I have taken the lead, I've just gone on to dominate pretty much the rest of the race. So the gap is now 3.7 seconds, and I have no doubts in saying that interval will probably extend. And where I'm probably going to be trying my hardest not to fall asleep. Fuck. Alright, so 3.8 seconds is now the interval at the end of pretty much lap 2, where I'm pretty certain the domination will inevitably continue. So 5.5 seconds is officially the interval. Now it's the end of lap 2, and in all fairness, I can probably say that overall, the only word I can really think of up to this point is domination. Because that is just literally how dominant I have been throughout the first 4 races of this championship. And where I'm pretty certain after this we will probably be about 50% complete with this game. By the time I've done all the IB events, I will pretty much be 50% done with this game. So the gap is now 8¼ seconds to the second placed Tuscan up to this point, and I'm now heading from the low 141s to the low 139s. Also, furthermore, my stomach is rumbling. Although at the moment I personally think that's probably irrelevant because I want to get this over with. And regardless of how much tagging with the walls I'm doing at the moment, I can still say at the present time domination is inevitably the word I'm going to say. Of course, many of you would probably think by now it's inevitable that I will probably say that at the very least I'm just dominating at a vast rate of knots. So 12.5 seconds is now the margin to the AI basically, because I'm just not bothered to say what the colours are. And where a sweep of presumably 4 out of 5 races up to this point is pretty much guaranteed. But again, it's fine if I do finish in last at test course, because I'm pretty certain up to this point by now I'm pretty much streaks ahead of the rest of the AI, and basically whoever does win a test course will easily be second in the championship overall. But yeah, I mean, by the time I've won this race, no matter what happens, I will basically be the champion anyway, regardless of what happens. So yeah, my times at the moment are currently being high 138s, but also low 139s at the moment, in terms of the lap times I'm setting. And as I anticipated in this race, like I have done with the previous 3 races, I am once again just extending myself onto a domination run. pretty much an unquestionable domination run, I might add. And now, pretty much 19 seconds clear of the second placed Tuscan. And by undoubtable relentlessness, I've just been stonking the rest of the field, basically. Alright, so, still 4 laps to go, and the championship up to this point has really gone by in a flash. It is only just past midday. Oh, fuck. Although it doesn't matter too much because I'm pretty certain up to this point I probably will win this race. Unquestionably, I will definitely win this race by now. Oh, fuck. I forgot there was an inside wall there. I forgot there was an invisible wall on that curb. Fuck me. I think that one has definitely proven to be my wake-up call. Because even though I'm dominating this thing, it doesn't mean I just basically have to fuck up every lap that I race. Keep your head in the fucking game, Jordan. Don't fall away because you know you're dominating. Focus on the fucking road. Okay, well, I think that's enough on my motivational parts. Oh, fuck. Well, as long as I'm making only minor mistakes, I'm still pretty certain I'll probably win these races. Meanwhile, I am now pretty much just under 22 seconds clear of the AI, and I'm pretty certain that whilst rubber banding in the professional league is anything but strong with the player, I am pretty certain, whilst I'm not concentrating, I'm still pretty certain to say at the very least I will probably win 4 out of 5 races. So overall, this championship, as I would have expected, has basically just been a snooze fest overall, but somehow I'm still able to stay awake long enough to see my domination continue. Because up to this point, it has basically been piss easy. Because that is literally how much I have just fucking cemented my advantage over the AI, and I'm pretty certain that even if I don't win this race, I will still win the championship overall. By proximity of mathematics, I will definitely win this championship, pretty much hands down. Even through perseverance. So, I think by the time we start the final lap, a win up to this point is probably guaranteed. Because 25 seconds is now pretty much the interval. That's the domination continues. But yeah, I mean, with the inside curves there are some invisible walls for some reason. The truth is, don't ask me why they're there, because the only thing I can really say is, well, they just are. Anyways, yeah, sorry, I'm still not concentrating. Anyways, final lap. As I almost thought for sure I said I win. Because I'm pretty sure that is exactly what will probably happen. Unless I fuck this up in a huge way, and then I might not win, but again, because of how much I've been dominating this championship up to this point, I am pretty certain a win is probably guaranteed by the time I get through the final corners. But yeah, I mean, this thing has definitely got the Brutus. Of a V8. Because this car is definitely angry once you hear it. So, entering the final sequence of corners now. So now, nobody is officially going to catch me. I have pretty much dominated this race like I have done the previous 3, and there we go. Once again, for the 4th time in a row, I win. And now, we are going to wait for the rest of these AI to finish. Considering it probably won't be long. Alright, everyone has finished, and obviously, up to this point, I've basically dominated the first 4 races of this championship. Because I've managed to win each of these races by at least 20 seconds. Overall. And pretty much no matter what happens in the final race, I am pretty much confirmed as the champion anyway. And also, from 2nd to 4th, we have quite a competition going on for who exactly will contest for 2nd position, because we have 3 contenders for the 2nd position. Meanwhile, I'm now 200,000 credits richer. And so, let's head over to the final race of the Tuscan Challenge, which takes place at the Shitty Oval. And where, because I have a feeling I'm going to be down on power, I'm going to put on the computer chip along with stage 1 of engine tuning. And the phone is ringing, but obviously I'm not going to answer that because I just want to get this. So let's just get this shitty race over with, knowing that I probably have virtually no chance of winning. And it will very much surprise me if I do manage to win this race. Although, oddly enough at the moment, I'm still closing in on the field. So, I could win this. And already, in just a blink of an eye, I am already up into first position for some reason. Somehow, the domination run I was not expecting to happen. Pure test course, but somehow the domination has come into fruition. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Okay. I'm not concentrating at the moment. And his AI are now closing in. This could probably get very ugly very quickly. I think this is about to get ugly very quickly, methinks. Because I'm in the middle of a pack at the moment. And also furthermore, I've just noticed the top speed on this thing. Although the only reason why I'm actually keeping up with these AI is because I've been on stage 1 engine. That's basically the only reason why I'm managing to keep up, and well, since I'm alone and not in a pack at the moment, that's basically the main reason why these AI are actually keeping up with me. But again, I figured I was needing the stage 1 engine on this thing anyway. Also furthermore, I'm not far from reaching top speed. And, oh, hello. Because even though this race is proving, at the moment, to be the most exciting, it's also proving very much to be the longest. Because if there is any course which I hate the most, it is none other than test course. But at the very least, because I've been on the stage 1 engine, obviously, I figured of course I would probably need that if I was going to have any shot of winning a test course, and ironically enough, that is exactly what this engine is doing for me at the moment, because I'm actually leading this thing. And furthermore, these AI are not helping themselves by pretty much bumping me, because that is not how they pass me. They need to actually pass me. They need to actually pass me either on the inside or the outside, not by bumping me, because that is just wrong. Also furthermore, somebody has now fallen back in the pack. So, at the moment, domination is definitely not the road I'm looking for, but leading at a course as shitty as this one, that was one thing I did not expect to happen. And oddly enough, compared to the many other races which I have done here at test course in the past, at the moment, this one is clearly proving to be the closest. Even though obviously this track overall, even though I will admit this track is still boring. Considering I literally have to look in my mirrors pretty much every lap to see where exactly the AI will make their moves, but at the moment, I'm just pretty much holding on. To an advantage by a tenth at the present time. And it will definitely surprise me if I do manage to get a clean sweep here. And that is a win. And again, the reason why I nicknamed this course the Shitty Oval is simply because, well, just look at how boring this course really is to drive on. Although surprisingly, at the moment I am actually keeping myself in contention for the race run at the moment. The gap is now pretty much... Anyways, the gap is now pretty much a tenth to the first of these AI, and at the moment we are pretty much battling for the lead tooth and nail, even though at the moment, of course, I am pretty much holding off his AI for the first position. And again, the dullness of this course is making me yawn. Because that is just literally how boring this course really is. Because even though these AI are able to get close to me, they are not quite able to overtake me. And I'm pretty certain most of the races that I'll do, in probably the cleanup segments, I'm pretty certain that most of the races I'll do are probably going to be test course races. Because if there's any course which I hate the most in this game, it has to be testicles. And oddly enough, at the moment, I'm actually strung out with the lead at the moment, which is one thing I did not expect myself to be doing. So there is a chance in saying this could be a potential clean sweep. Considering I am now leading by 1.7 seconds. So, I do have a shot at making this a clean sweep, if this AI keeps squabbling the way they are doing at the moment, and also as long as I don't fuck this up, then there is a chance in me saying this could be a potential clean sweep. And that, unsurprisingly, is one thing I did not expect to happen. Although then again, it was more or less a possibility because of how much I was dominating the championship prior to this race. And undeniably, as a result, the domination is just continuing. And I am now 3.8 seconds clear of the second placed car, so I think whilst I know these AI are just pretty much tripping over one another at the moment, I think it's fair to say that for me, this is definitely helping me to make this a possible clean sweep, which oddly enough is one thing I did not predict was going to happen in this championship. Because of how much test course really is shit, basically. And contact the outside wall. I have no idea how I was not putting the car into a spin, but ultimately, at the moment, all I can really say is, well, I'm just continuing to extend under pretty much my own power. God, 5.6 seconds, and it's still counting. Fucking hell. This has been a pretty boring championship overall. Even though one course I did not expect myself to be dominating on this task course. Because I would have thought for sure that by now the domination would not be in continuation. But ironically enough, I proved myself wrong. I proved myself wrong in a big way. Yeah, lucky sevens. But I can say that margin is at the moment. Even though obviously I still cannot afford to mess with this because I am pretty certain many cases, to say the least, that this will probably be undoubtedly about as much of a domination run as me basically waiting to see how long it is before I get a ticket on the Metropolitan line. Yep, I think a clean sweep is definitely possible. Unless I fuck this up, but at the moment that is not proving to be the case. So from when I thought for sure I was going to be on the back foot at test course, oddly enough, with the addition of some engine tuning, I've actually put myself on the front foot. And pretty much with this race, like it has been for the previous 4 races in this championship, I've just pretty much gone on this to dominate. And this event is again proving why exactly I'm just fucking dominating this thing so much. Although fortunately, I only have another 3 laps left to run on this shitty oval, so fortunately, I do not have to run on this fucking course for much longer. Considering I'm basically running at about probably 186 miles an hour. These high banks, and again I set another new fastest lap, and by the time we start the final lap I would say clean sweep is more or less inevitable up to this point, which oddly enough is one thing I did not expect to happen, especially at course that is test course. Jesus Christ, 15 seconds. looks as though this race is very much going to go the way of the other 4 races in this championship. It is going to be a clean sweep. And so, officially, I would think it is going to be pretty much a guaranteed clean sweep for this championship, like it has been for 2 out of the previous 3 championships I've competed in. And this one certainly proving to probably be the easiest overall in terms of domination. Because I've dominated races in this championship, probably even more than I dominated most of the races in the Clio Cup. So, out of all of my most dominant performances in a championship event, this one is certainly the most dominant. As I expected, these AI are still continuing to duke it out for every position they can find, Anyways, coming closer now to completing the lap number 9 here at Task Course, where officially, since these AI started battling for 2nd position and not battling with me, I have pretty much just continued to extend my interval. But it's fine, because we only have 1 lap to go, and oddly enough, I did not expect myself to be dominating like this much in the race itself. I should have probably done this without the engine tuning, and then I would have probably finished in last. But again, I still don't think that would have been the case, because even when my car was stock, I still dominated the races. Anyways, final lap, and my current lap times are basically the high 2-minute 3s. Okay. One lap to go on the shitty oval, presented by Credit One Bank. Yep, okay. I think a clean sweep up to this point is pretty much guaranteed. Even if I do make a mistake up to this point, I'm still pretty certain it'll be a clean sweep. Methinks. So a clean sweep up to this point, more or less guaranteed. As I'm passing through the tunnel. And I will probably be so relieved to know that the championship will be over after this fucking race. I can go for my lunch because I'm still hungry. And yep, I can guarantee this will definitely be a certain clean sweep. And officially, I come across the line now to completing the final race of the Tuscan Challenge, and I I set a new best lap time in the process. Thank God. So furthermore, hey guys, did I mention to you that I hate task course? Meanwhile, let's wait for everybody else to finish. Alright, everyone has managed to finish this fucking race. And in the end of that, I won by 26.4 seconds. And so officially, the Tuscan Challenge is indeed going to be a clean sweep. The one thing I did not expect to happen before I did the engine tuning for this race. But there we are. For me, the Tuscan Challenge is a clean sweep, and certainly the easiest one-make event I've probably done in this entire game. As I won by 27 points. And I'm not going to reveal the final point standings because, well, those are irrelevant. Anyways, it is done. It is finally done. After 10 long and very grueling laps of test course, it is finally complete. And furthermore, that is all of our IB events done in this game. And also, I get a trophy of a man holding a trophy. And what prize card do we win this time? We win... Oh. Another TBR Griffith. I already have one of these things. Although I must admit it does look nice in red. Anyways, doesn't matter. And also for achieving 50% in this game we get... the Chevrolet Corvette C5R. Now that is a better prize car. Anyways, it is a clean sweep in the Tuscan Challenge, and officially, let's now move over to our prize cars. So we are now 50.9% complete, and ultimately that is now 50% of this game done, as well as all of the IB events. And well, even though this TBR does look alright in red, the truth is, I have no reason of keeping it because I already have one of these things, and also because furthermore, I get an additional 15,000 credits if I sell it, so that's what I'm going to do, since I have no purpose for it. Anyways, this is the prize car we get for 50% of this game, finally. The Chevrolet Corvette C5R. And by God, this thing looks good. Considering it also competed in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. God, I love the way this thing looks. Alright, anyways, I'm done. So, that was the Tuscan Challenge, and officially all of our international B license events are now done. So, next time we shall be moving onwards to arcade mode. So until then, stay tuned for more of the Gran Turismo the 3rd.